very good evening to each and every one of you. Thank you very much for joining us for yet another episode of the Open House webinar. So this time we are going to do episode 2 of the discussion around upstreaming of client funds. So last week, if you remember, we had the discussion and we had so many questions that it had to spill over to another episode. So I'm again joined by my colleagues Piyush Chaurasia and Renu Bhandari. Piyush, incidentally, is now the Chief Regulatory Officer of NSE, and Renu is, of course, from our regulatory team. Thank you very much once again for joining us, and let's get going. So last week, we finished a few topics around the upstreaming of clients. This week, we have a number of process-oriented questions from various members. So in fact, I have a bunch of over 100 questions, but we try and complete as many of these as possible. And in case we run out of time, then we promise to get back to you on a one-on-one basis to address every single question that you've raised. Okay, the first question is from a member who says, why is the settlement account legitimate balance not considered in G calculation, where on OFS day, cash advance margin amount, excess amount credit by clearing corporation in settlement account after cutoff time? Next day paying for commodity segment and derivative segment, where bills are majorly prepared after cutoff time, shall be considered in G calculation. Renu, do you want to take this?
Yeah. So the amount which is lying in the settlement account is owned as well as client both. So therefore, this cannot be considered as client funds while calculating the G. But if any funds are received from the clearing corporation and which are after the cutoff time, etc., and lying in the settlement account, will be considered for G calculation. And this we will be clarifying in our upcoming FAQ as well.
The three companies have confirmed to us, Shira, that they will share data with us, and we will use that to ensure that the G calculation is accurately computed.
Okay. There's another question from a member who has asked a very high-level question on, can we just summarize the entire process around transfer of funds, the accounts involved, and the broad process steps? So, like we discussed in the episode last week, I think we are talking about every member having two accounts. One is the upstreaming account, the other is the downstreaming account. And Piyush, correct me if I'm wrong. So, when upstreaming happens, then money moves from the client's account to the upstreaming account. If it's the trading member, then the trading member client upstreaming account, and then the clearing member upstreaming account, and then the settlement account. And finally, from there, the money moves to the clearing corporation, and vice versa when it comes back. And if it's a prop member, then there's no impact of this circular on such prop members.
I think that's perfect.
Okay. Let's move to the next one. Can I do funds transfer to settlement account to pay exchange obligation from USCNB account without upstream and downstream money with clearing corporation? I think we answered this last week.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
So any kind of payments, you can, you don't need to, if it's the money is coming the same day, you don't need to upstream it to the CC. You can, the CC will take it for paying purposes. If there is a little amount, then that you have to upstream it. Yeah.
Perfect. Can I do a normal client payout on working and non-working Saturdays without upstreaming and downstreaming of funds?
That is something which we are going to seek confirmation from SEBI. We understand that this is genuine for some members who want to ensure that the client explain doesn't get worsened after this upstream circular. So we are confident with that, and we will take confirmation from SEBI regarding this. So this will be definitely be clarified in one of subsequent FAQs.
Sure. Another question is, can I transfer funds from one settlement account to another of NCL without upstreaming, downstreaming?
Between the two settlement account, they can transfer the funds.
Okay. Another member asks, because the circular doesn't apply for proprietary trades, are such prop traders required to submit any declaration that they are only conducting proprietary trades?
So if you do not have a client account, even now, then you are good anyway, right? Because then you don't need to create upstream downstream account. So in that way, there is no separate confirmation required, because in that case, you will only deal directly, have a prop account from which you will put funds to the account and back. So in that case, you don't have to create a new confirmation. There is no such requirement for such members.
Okay. How do we ensure clearance of those physical checks issued at the time of quarterly settlement let's say because of an electronic transaction failure?
So we clarified this in the last FAQ as well, wherein when we were discussing that they should actually discourage issuance of any kind of checks to the client. It should be electronic transfers whenever they are either settling the client account or time to time payouts if client is demanding. In case of only exceptions, checks should be issued, and those reasons also should be recorded with them.
Okay. The next question is, we are having a PCM in derivative segment and have given proprietary funds separately for margin, but if collection is received from customers against debit, prove the same. I think this is a question we answered in the last episode.
Yeah, we did. Yes.
And basically, if funds have been put in by the member already, then the client funds have to be upstreamed and then downstreamed back into the proprietary account.
Right. That's correct. Yes.
Perfect. In case of collection received in client upstream bank account, which is moved to settlement account and funds paid get debited, how to ensure upstreaming in that case?
Funds are received for paying and gone
And
to
there is no
settlement
need to
account.
upstream anyway.
Yes. So it
Yeah.
is directly debited for the pay.
Okay. In point of compliance, where it's asked to keep reconciliation, please share draft format.
So there is no specific format for reconciliation, but members are already currently also preparing a reconciliation when there is a movement from own account to the client account and vice versa. So similarly, this reconciliation needs to be
So
done.
there is no new compliance owners which can put on members by way of the circular in the reconciliation. Whatever exist currently doing as per existing norms, that will continue.
Okay. The next question is from a member who says, can we take client funds for margin 24/7 after the 1st of September?
Yes, you can. Absolutely.
Sure.
There will be, we do hope that there will be some change in the customer client behavior because we do want that the restriction should be there that till cutoff time, when we market as you get funds and till cutoff time. But however, if the clients do give money after the cutoff time also, that is not a violation anymore.
Do we need to upstream funds in monthly and quarterly settlements?
Sorry, do we?
Need to upstream funds in monthly and quarterly settlement date.
See, upstreaming, any client fund is received has to be upstreamed. But while you are downstreaming it for the settlement purpose, on the day of settlement, if some funds are remained in the downstream account, for which you have already issued the instruction, we are looking at it and we will have to permit that.
So some of the bank also mentioned to us that they get the confirmation or rather the instruction from the members before midnight. However, then the settlement continues through the night, and I think that is perfectly fine as long as the instruction has been given prior to midnight. And in that case, if settlement also drags on a little bit, I don't think that's a point of violation from the member's perspective.
Can we continue to take client funds in the upstream bank account for next day's trades after the CC cutoff time for upstreaming of the funds? I think this is explained by the debit freeze.
Yeah.
So,
But if he's saying that he continues to take the amount today for tomorrow's trade, the SEBI circular says that it has to be for the legitimate purpose. And the legitimate purpose is either I have a margin obligation today or a pay-in obligation today. So for future trade, it is not a obligation which is arising today.
okay.
So only for the legitimate purpose, client should be giving money after the cutoff time. And it should be under freeze.
So in case we extend business hours and introduce a new session, let's say in the evening time, from let's say for example from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Some of the clients may want to fund margins in order to be able to trade in the second session. That should be okay.
Yes, so margin obligations, pay-in obligations on that day will suffice.
Perfect. Can we net off the funds in settlement account for the purpose of payment to client? That's an absolute no-no.
Yeah, right.
That's the whole objective of
Yeah.
this entire circular. So, okay. The next request is from a member who wants us to consider extending the cutoff time for upstreaming of funds on settlement days as the final MGTM file is received after CC cutoff. So it causes issue when it comes to settlement of client funds.
No, I think we again have been discussing this point quite a bit. We do understand that some members are using currently the CC files for their back office activities and client activities. which is something which is not those CC files which are they're not meant for that, right? So I think members have to create their own backup solutions to ensure that on the basis of the trade files and the margin parameter files, risk parameter files, and the settlement price file of the CCs, they should be able to compute their own client obligation on the basis of that.
Okay. The next question is, how do we create an FD from client funds? Can a member create an FD from the settlement account or from the upstreaming account?
From the upstreaming account.
Okay. If an FD is created from client funds and placed with CC, then the creditor's amount retained with CC should be reflected in the FD column equivalent to FD amount and the rest in funds retained with CC. Is this interpretation correct?
So if I understand correctly, what they're talking about is the segregation file reporting.
Yeah.
If the client has given, say, cash, and the member, if in case put a SCM or whatever, and they create a FD and give to CC, then you can say retain with CC and from FD.
Okay.
Yeah, and retain with the TM and CM will be 0.
Okay. So Piyush, how is this process going? I mean, based on the recent experience, is the exchange and is the clearing corporation able to act on release requests quite quickly and move the money back?
We have, and we have actually seen quite a large number of transactions now for both funds upstreaming and downstreaming intraday as well, compared to prior to the issue. This circular was implemented, and the CC has been able to keep up with those demands, these requests.
Okay. How does one settle or reverse the funds to the person?
So here,
In
I
case-
think I also want to mention, so NSE clearing actually has something called as SFMS service, which is an IDRBT provide service, which actually enables us to do very fast releases. So we don't have to do this directly with the banks. So the banks which are connected to the SFMS network, we are able to do, it's like a SWIFT, but for Indian markets, which is done by IDRBT. And this service actually helps us release the client funds quite fast. And currently we are the only clearing corporation in India who uses this service. So I think we are very well equipped to basically service members well in terms of release requests.
Okay. The next question is, if funds are sent by mistake to the upstreaming account, client bank account, then how does one reverse this out and send it back to the person who sent this by mistake?
So similarly, from any client, if they receive, the funds are to be upstreamed. For this person also, the funds needs to be upstreamed and
and then
take
come back.
downstream and give it back
And
to
then give
the
it back.
client through the downstream account.
So there's no concept of kicking back the money which was received by
Yeah, from
mistake.
the upstream, yes.
Is there any separate handling for a 3-in-1 account as the bank broker works on block stroke lien mechanism?
No, the mechanism is same for bank broker or non-bank brokers, because even non-bank brokers have a 3-in-1 mechanism. So we cannot make a differentiation between bank and non-bank brokers. So the process is same for all of them.
Okay.
And ultimately, even for this 3-in-1 also, when they block and then the margin is coming to their account, which is now would be upstream account, and then only the money has to be given back. So it has to route through again upstream and then downstream.
Sure. For paying downstream, we have to make additional funds in fungible balance for the release of pay. But pay-in is after adjustment of allocation balance amount to be released to the CM. Need help on the same. I'm not able to understand this, but in case you are, then.
Can you repeat the question again?
For paying downstream, we have to make additional funds in fungible balance for the release of pay-in. But pay-in is after adjustment of allocation balance amount to be released to the CM.
Right. Okay. I think I understood the question. So currently, in the current exchange SEBI circular, they have mentioned that any unutilized collateral can be used for pay. Right.
Okay.
So I think it's coming from that. So whatever is unallocated from that, they can ask for request back for pay. So that is the process. That's correct.
Okay. Okay. All funds upstreamed to CM or clearing corporation have to be allocated to respective clients and shown as funds with CM/CC against each client. We find that funds upstreamed at around 6:30 p.m. are not capable of being allocated to clients because allocation portal window closes before that. So funds are with the CM or CC, but not allocated. So the problem in reporting in 65 column file on there is a problem that they are facing with respect to segregation of client collaterals.
So Shyam, this point is not actually correct. The allocation window of clearing corp was at 8 p.m., not at 6 or 6:30 p.m.
Okay. So is that a recent change or it's been always
No,
8
it's always there.
It's always been
Yeah,
8 p.m., right?
Yeah.
So why would they then? It's difficult. But to understand this members' feedback better, we would encourage you to send the details separately to us by email or through your relationship manager, and happy to get into the details and help you in the best possible way. I think this feedback is a little crisp and maybe summarized in a very small way, but happy to get into the details. Okay, the next question is we've received 10 lakhs as payout and we have ABC of 5 lakhs. Both the money is in the settlement account. We downstream 12 lakhs. Now, from the 1st of September, we have to submit daily MIS at the end of day. Do we need to submit MIS for 5 lakhs or 12 lakhs or 15 lakhs?
Can you give me the numbers again for what purpose it come?
We've received 10 lakhs as payout and we have ABC of 5 lakhs.
So the whatever you have received payout, for that you don't have to give a reason code. Whatever you have asked from CC downstreamed 5 CR funds in this case, for that you have to provide a reason code.
Okay. The next question is, from a member who wants a clarification on a procedural matter concerning utilization of funds from pro account to settlement account for margin related purposes and the subsequent possibility of reversing those funds directly from the settlement account at the end of the trading day. Is that allowed?
I am not really sure I understood the question because proprietary
This doesn't
margin
apply
for-
anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't apply, right? Sure.
Okay. The next question is from a member who wants to know whether in the upstreaming client bank account, can we keep 1,000 minimum?
Answer is no. As we mentioned in the previous session, we have spoken to a lot of banks, including the ones which have most of the client accounts. And also we attend to every bank, which either is a clearing bank or accepts, from which the clearing corporation accepts, where basically you can open client account. So all of those banks we return to them to not impose any kind of minimum balance, account balance, penalty, etc. So we are written to all of them. So we do hope that none of them will impose, and at least some of the big banks have already confirmed to us. But if such case happens, I think you can show them the circular. So it's a regulatory reason because of which you cannot maintain any balance in the account.
Or you can also let us know. We'll be happy
absolutely,
to
absolutely.
intervene and help you out. Okay. While doing value date collateral withdrawal, the amount comes under band mismatch file.
Yeah, so that is another thing which we discussed with the clearing corporations, and that is another piece of information which they have agreed to share with us separately, so that this band mismatch which is currently happening, I think this is happening in the segregation file reporting, that will also hopefully be. Right now, there's no penalty anyway on that. It's just information which goes to them as a band mismatch, so that hopefully those false alerts might stop getting generated.
Okay. In collateral release reason, prop data reported cannot be seen on the next day in view reports.
In collateral release request. Okay.
Yeah, release reason, prop data reported cannot see that on the next day in view reports.
Not sure.
I think we'll need more details of this, error. Please do send in your details and we're very happy to help you out. Okay. The next question is from a member who says, for paying purpose, how do I release funds from CIM on T day because we have to give all our funds for upstreaming?
Okay.
Please ask. Can you repeat?
For paying purpose, how do I release funds from CIM? Is that an abbreviation?
So this is a portal. That's fine.
On T day, because we have to give all funds for upstreaming.
No, okay. I think
We have a validated request.
yeah, we specified that if the funds have come on the same day on which there's a settlement, then you don't have to upstream it. And if the funds have come the previous day, then you have to upstream it. But you can ask for a release, either as a validated release on the T day or on early morning T plus 1 day, you can ask for immediate release. So either of the two you can do.
Okay. We need clarity on how to transfer funds to CM for margin and pay-in payout purposes.
Nothing is changing from that perspective. Only thing is that, as Shira mentioned, now there are even for clearing members, there are two different accounts, one for the clients and for prop. So if you are a trading member, who has both clients and prop. In that case, client funds you have to separately upstream to the CM's upstream account, and prop funds you have to separately upstream in the sense if you want to. That is your choice. Do you want to give that separate account which CM will maintain for such a prop fund?
Okay. The next one is a very popular suggestion from a lot of members. Now that the brokers don't hold any funds, will compliances with respect to uploading daily bank balances be withdrawn?
So we are looking at it. Although we have been receiving now daily balances from banks also, but couple of banks are delaying or not submitting, which we need to follow up. So we are discussing with banks so that if they start reporting on a day-on-day basis regularly, then we will discontinue this bank report.
Okay. Another member says we have self-clearing membership in cash segment and only trading membership in FNO segment. So can I transfer client funds from cash settlement account to FNO settlement account and then to CM or CC?
No, if you are a TM only in F&O, then you don't have settlement account. So I don't know how that will happen.
So they are only naming it as a settlement account, which is not linked actually to the
Yeah, so
CC.
even the bank will not even allow that.
Correct.
After upstream, can we move funds from cash settlement bank account balance to FNO settlement or cash settlement to currency settlement account or FNO settlement account to commodity settlement account?
So what we have done is we have actually given reason code in the CC circular where we have set a paying to other segments or CC. We have given reason code for that. So that is absolutely possible.
Okay. Currently, we transfer funds received or receivable from exchange for clients' payout to downstream, and any amount pending after payout is upstreamed at end of day. Is this the correct process?
Yes. Any amount left in the downstream
But
has to be further.
Currently, we transfer funds received or receivable from exchange for clients' payout to downstream, and any amount pending
Yeah.
after payout is
Yeah.
upstreamed at end of day.
Yes.
This is absolutely
That's
correct.
Yes.
Okay, some of these questions are really big, so I'm going to cover those smaller ones first and then go to the big questions towards the end. If TM does clearing from another bank for commodity segment, then what is the procedure to transfer funds to the other CC?
As I mentioned, we have a reason code that you can withdraw funds from the CC or pay to other CC. We already have a reason code for that. You can actually do that.
Okay. If a client gives an FD or a PG, can SB or TM allocate funds from prop funds?
You cannot take FD or BG from the client.
Yeah. We have a 10 crore FDR from Pro Fund and maturity is 1 year, 1 day. Our client provided us with funds amounting to 1 crore towards margin. Should we allot the said FDR against client cash? If yes, is this process valid even after the 1st of September?
No. So basically, if you got 1 crore of client fund, you have to upstream it. You cannot take it because and allocate of your existing prop fund and not upstream, though that is not permissible.
Okay. So the next question is from a member who says, do we need to upstream funds payout received from exchange and then transfer to downstream? Or we can directly transfer from settlement account to downstream account?
Funds payout which you receive from the clearing corporation can directly be transferred to downstream account and given back to clients. You don't have to re-upstream it and downstream it back.
Okay. Next question is from a member who uses ICCL as the clearing corporation. We are clearing through ICCL. However, for T-bills of NSE, we have to make separate pay into NSE on T+1 day. So when we make request for fund release on T day, ICCL gives it around 9:30 to 10 a.m. on T+1 day, which is too late. And bank debits at about 8:30 a.m. on T+1 day. So we have to keep balance in our settlement account for the T-bill transaction on, and can we therefore keep the amount and not upstream it to the clearing corporation?
So while I will not be able to comment on ICCL timings, but they are right that we do debit the account at 8:30 a.m. As I mentioned, even every CC gives season codes in terms of withdrawal of fund for paying to other CC. So under that reason code, even from ICCL, they can withdraw However, I will not be able to comment on what time the other clearing corps release those funds because we don't have any visibility on that.
Understood. So even if value dated transfer is given in advance, is the in that case would the payout be a little earlier?
We don't because
We
again,
don't know
they are
the,
giving to that CC, so
Understood.
we don't know the how
Okay.
they process it.
So this is something you will have to take up with the other clearing corporation.
But
Yeah.
not upstream is not answered, so that is definitely a no.
Yeah.
In any CC, you cannot say that next day because I require it in another CC, I will not upstream the money. That is not an answer.
At the end of the day, if any funds remain in the downstream account, then will it attract any penalty? Because sometimes the client payout may be rejected by the bank.
So if the client payout has been rejected by bank and there is some specific reason which has to be accepted, we will work on case to case basis.
So members need to keep the proof and be able to.
But
supply
otherwise,
that.
we will certainly be prescribing a penalty structure also if the amount is left in the downstream account.
Okay. Clearing corporation is deducting value date release amount on end of day basis and releasing the same amount in our settlement banks on the next day. Because of that, we are getting online G alert from exchanges.
Right.
They demand snapshot and settlement bank account statement. Exchanges and clearing corporations should synchronize to solve this problem. Give us a resolution.
We absolutely agree with you. And we have spoken to CCs and we will be taking that data directly from them, right? And
Yes.
so this will resolve this issue between the exchange and CC. Completely agree with you.
In fact, now also whatever alerts are getting generated, we are not going to brokers now. We are taking this data from CC and we are verifying it.
Okay. What will be the treatment of value date release amount in segregation file of TDAY? Can we use value date release amount in segregation file?
The answer is currently is no, because there is a mismatch. However, we are going to do is even internally, we are asking CCs to share that data with their segregation file, where run function of that, so that these band mismatches don't come. However, as I mentioned earlier, that there currently no penalty for these band mismatches.
Can we take MFOS repledged to clearing corporation as cash APC for G calculations?
Yes, once it starts, yes.
Currently, this MFOS is
It's
not
not yet
notified
operational.
by the relevant authority. So once those can be notified and get operational, then answer is yes.
Sure. On settlement day, it will not be possible late in the night after giving settlement payout to clients to transfer amount, if any, left in downstream bank account to upstream bank account and then to CC as cutoff time is 7 p.m. Please, can you help us get a resolution for this?
Yeah, I think in the last session also Renu mentioned that we are going to create some cover this and subsequent FAQs. However, right now we have time because the next quarterly settlement is now in October, right? So before that, we will try to come up with some solution for this.
To check issued amount in our downstream bank account as checks can come for clearing at any time.
I think Renu mentioned this a few times already.
We don't
that,
encourage checks.
Yeah, we don't encourage checks. So we highly discourage, and not just us, something which we have got this message it also, that checks should be discouraged. We have now one digital world, right? So, but in case, because like Renu mentioned, the only acceptable reason for writing a check is because your online transfer failed, on quarterly settlements or any other kind of settlements. So for such cases, maybe you can, but again, if the bank, if you should know by what the bank will actually debit it. Bank is going to debit it next day, and rather you keep the money next day rather than this night.
When any debtor client sells stock in loss and then gives the payment of only the loss amount in upstream bank account, we have to upstream and then downstream the same amount as for the debit portion amount already has been paid by Pro to CC for downstream.
Yes.
Which reason code should be provided? One or two?
Pro.
Pro. Okay. Next question is around the FD tenor. I think that's been clarified now. It was earlier less than 1 year, but now it's 1 year, 1 day.
Yes.
It's 1 year, 1 day for client FDRs, and for prop FDR, there is no tenure restriction.
Right. Kindly confirm if BMC stroke security deposit stroke membership deposit stroke TGF FDRs of max amount of 25 lakhs can be renewed by banks having tenure more than 12 months and 1 day.
That's correct, because this money cannot be from client funds. This has to be from prop funds. That is why the answer is yes.
Is it mandatory to create new FDRs post 1st July with interest payment as annual payout?
Yes, because otherwise what will happen is that in case the clearing corporation invokes that FDR, they will get less than the principal at the time of invocation.
Right. If maturity of client FD is on weekends and such funds will be received on weekends, then what will be the impact of upstreaming on Friday?
What exactly
The
they're
funds are
asking?
received on weekend. So
If
then,
the FD matures on a weekend,
oh,
then obviously the funds will be received on the
ah,
weekend.
right.
How will the upstreaming happen?
You will do the next working
Monday. Monday.
next settlement.
Yeah, next working day. Assuming Monday is a working day. Can funds be transferred from clearing corporation to settlement account be can funds transferred from clearing corporation to settlement account be withdrawn for exchange obligation stroke client and own account?
Exchange publication. I'm not really sure I understood the function. Uh, is it about exchange transaction fee?
Looks like, because they're saying that exchange.
So see, because
Charges.
obligation is basically paying. For that, there is no downstream required, right? That will directly come from settlement account. I think the question probably refers to exchange transaction fee, etc.
Fees,
case,
absolutely.
Yeah. So in that case, you can downstream it under that reason code and take it to your proper account.
Can funds be transferred from settlement account to own account? Excess funds lying in client account and brokerage without upstreaming and downstream?
No. You have to first upstream it and then under the appropriate reason code, ask for a downstream.
Can we transfer funds from one settlement to another settlement account of NCL without upstreaming, downstreaming? I think we just
Yes.
answered this a short while back. Can we do funds transfer directly after funds payout from settlement account to own account without upstreaming, downstreaming?
This is payout which is coming.
Yeah,
That
which
can
is
be
fine.
done.
Which is fine. Yeah. Can we do normal client payout on working and non-working Saturday without you upstreaming and downstreaming of funds?
If you're sort of asking that whether I received from funds and then can I pay paid out of those funds, answer is no.
Sure.
You cannot do net of even on weekend. You cannot do net.
Yeah. In MTF, client buys 1 lakh worth of shares, out of which, according to MTF margins, he pays 30,000 and the broker pays 70,000. Interest is charged on 70,000. Now this transaction is completed. There is a confusion that broker has to pay another 30,000 from his own funds to CC. Where would the broker get another 30,000? If he has to give, then how interest on that 30,000 will happen, which is given by CC? Please clarify.
I think this question is not related to upstreaming of funds, etc.
Absolutely.
They are asking some clarification on MTF, and there has been this question earlier also, that if paying requirement is 1 lakh and client has given 30,000 as margin, but the paying which has been made to the CC is 1 lakh, and margin has to be maintained all the times. So therefore, the
therefore-
funding is 1 lakh.
1
not-
lakh, and then the margin will get released later on.
But the point is that much funding is not 70, funding to the extent of
1 lakh.
1 lakh, yeah. Why implementation is not done with respect to pay-in purpose? Why is there a need to deallocate the funds when SEBI guidelines clearly state that for paying, clearing corporation can use unutilized funds?
So we have given a mechanism of how to use this unallocated funds. The thing is that I think the question is that if the client has utilized less of the out of the total allocated amount, the thing is clearing corp to settlement on net basis, right, with the member. So clearing corp on its own cannot use any client's remaining unutilized funds for settlement, because that client may not even have obligation, or he might have paid to the broker already. So that is why you have to unallocate, because only broker is aware which client is paid, which client has obligation, which client is paid, etc. The broker has to unallocate from the client from which the pay has not happened, and that can only utilized towards pay. That's the short and long answer of that.
Sure. Can we transfer funds from one client upstreaming bank account to another client upstreaming bank account?
Yes, you can.
Can we transfer funds from, sorry, it's the same question repeating. What is the procedure for making investment of idle client funds through MOFS Demat account? This is a topic awaiting clarity, so we will unfortunately not be able to answer this right now. Can we, with Pro account, pay for expenses as well as own trading weekly or fortnightly?
You can do it as you want. A cycle is something left to you.
Right.
So there's no restriction on daily, weekly, quarterly, whatever. You can do what as per the current cycle.
As per your convenience.
Can we make FD out of idle client funds and pledge it to CC? If yes, please give us the procedure. Further, can we keep interest earned out of the above FD pledged with exchange or need to reimburse the same to the client?
If you are any kind of CM, SCM, TCM, PCM, then yes, you can create a FD out of client funds through the upstream account and then pledge it to CC, mark to any of the CCs. That is actually the requirement of same circular. In terms of interest, that interest you can take it out to your prop account. So there is no restriction there.
If we released 1,000 rupees during the day and utilized only 800 and upstream the remaining 200 to clearing corporation, do we require to do release reasoning for complete 1,000 or just 800? Obviously, it's for the complete 1,000.
I think the question is that 1,000. No. What is? I think question is that 1,000 was received to the client.
No,
was used for paying.
Release. 1,000 was released.
Okay.
And 800 was utilized for whatever reason. So the remaining
Yeah.
200 was upstream back
So
again.
you have to give reasoning for whatever you have withdrawn.
Withdrawn,
Yes.
yeah, which is
So
1,000.
it is 1,000.
Which is 1,000, yeah. And what will be the reason code for the 1,000? That depends upon
The actual reason why you withdrawn.
exactly. Okay.
So if it was for payout, because they have brought it into the downstream account and then further upstream. So it was for payout and then since it was not used, again went to upstream.
Right.
Correct.
So again, just to reiterate what we discussed in the last episode, these reason codes need to be given only once at the end of the day for the entire consolidated value for the day, right?
Correct. Okay.
For running account settlement, can we downstream and keep client funds for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday if remaining unutilized?
See, ideally, members are aware that how much amount is required to be settled because they are doing this calculation during the day. So they should be downstreaming the amount which is required to be settled. If anything is left out because of, again, margin has increased or decreased, in those situations, we will have to give that benefit on those particular days and which we will be clarifying through our upcoming FAQ.
Sure. So we're planning to come out with a detailed FAQ document, I guess.
Yeah.
Can clearing corporation do auto downstream or release for paying obligation to settlement account on behalf of members?
No, that is not possible. No, it's not about technology. It's more about it's that the member has to ask for that release.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like asking the bank to automatically issue checks. Can you please show timestamp on the SIM window for the request placed for deposit stroke withdrawal and status of funds transferred to bank in case withdrawal? I think the timestamp, is it not already available?
I will look at what the actual query
We'll
is.
check this out.
Yeah.
We'll check this out and we will clarify it.
Talk about CC.
Yeah, fair enough. Can a member withdraw charges if the client is having debit? Is it objection since withdrawals will be from own funds and not from client funds?
Can you repeat the question?
Can a member withdraw charges if the client is having debit? As in, I think he has to recover some charges from the client, and therefore he's asking if they can withdraw.
So once this client who is in a debit has paid the amount and the amount has been upstreamed,
Yeah.
that amount can be taken back.
Okay. If we have created an FD from own funds, then the credit of FD interest to which account? Upstreaming client bank account or own account?
So if any prop fund will not come to the client upstream account at all, right?
Yeah.
So the interest will be from the account from which you have made the
FD, yeah. We gave value date request for value date paying for exchange, but amount is reduced by value.
I think this call protocol is the same to G calculation or segregation. I think both
So I
questions
think
answered.
so I think the question is that since that amount is released from the collateral and it is not accounted for G, that there will be a shortfall. But we clarified that we'll be considering this amount and we'll be taking it directly from all the clearing corporations.
Can we download excess payout from CC?
Excess payout, exactly what they are saying that they are giving the payout, and the payout can go to downstream for further making payments to the clients if it belongs to clients.
I think excess payout is considered payout. CC is giving you a
Yeah,
payout.
yeah.
You don't have to upstream it back. You can directly take it to downstream account
And
and
pay to the
pay to
clients.
Pay to the client, yeah. Please guide us on workflow for OFS funds.
So I think the question is that if OFS funds are released late in the night by CC, whether we'll be considering it for G or not, because the settlement balances are not considered for G. So yes, we will be considering this amount because this has been received from the CC and these are client funds. So therefore, this will be considered, and we'll not be asking members for this amount. We'll be taking directly from the CC.
Okay. Please advise us on settlement to settlement fund transfer. Is it valid or invalid? I think we've answered this already. In case client requests payout after timeline and we made payment to client through own account, then how does one reverse this to the own account?
So with how this can be done or not done, that separately will come with the FAQ. This is under consideration with SEBI. So once we get the confirmation, we'll issue a FAQ for this also. How can you make a payout without receiving fund from client CC?
If we made a payout to a client through the downstream and payout has bounced back into the downstream account for any technical reason, then what is the procedure for the balance lying in the downstream account?
We
You have to
answered
get
actually.
upstreamed and
And
So,
we also
so
said
see, the
that,
thing is, if it happened before upstream cutoff time, you upstream it back to CC.
right.
If it happened after upstream cutoff time, then you maintain that the log or whatever you have got from the bank. That or it failed. That is transfer has failed.
Absolutely. Okay. So let's go to this page. If client payment was delayed due to some technical issue from the bank and funds are delivered next day, in that scenario, what is the implication? Obviously, the pay-in would have been made with prop funds, and therefore we have already answered that situation.
this fund will go up and then come back as
Yeah.
a release.
If an FD is created out of client funds, but client margin is higher, we are not able to deallocate funds from client. In that scenario, can we make an FD from prop funds and give it to the client?
Give it to the client. I'm not sure I understand the question.
Yeah, the question is not clear because margin has to be collected from client. It should not be less than the margin requirement of the client.
So then it's a different breach. Okay. Request to exempt custodian settled DVP trades, buy and sell. For this process, broker uses their funding lines initially to meet the obligations and subsequently settles with the client's custodian. Hence, upstreaming, downstreaming causes additional flow.
No, we agree and we understand the point. We are just awaiting some confirmation from SEBI. On the confirmation received, we will issue guidelines in this regard.
Sure. Request you to exempt interest earned on deposits for international clients. Client cannot earn interest on the funds placed and hence seeking exemption.
That
FPIs.
doesn't come under purview. That's an interim scheme taken to RBI.
Yeah. Member portal, submit reason for collateral release. Please provide copy paste option. I think this is a very operational technical thing. I can't understand this. I think on the system they want something, but we'll request this member to separately write into us or maybe call up and just explain to us what is exactly required. We'll try and help you out. Okay. Charges are settled by institutional or custodian clients on a weekly basis. For example, transaction charges, STT, stamp duty, IPF, SEBI fees, etc. Can the same be directly taken into own account? If not, then funds received from institutional or custodian clients and client upstream bank accounts need to be upstreamed to clearing corporation. Do they need to be upstreamed or can they be routed through settlement account and from there to the own bank account?
Any money which has come to stream account has to be upstreamed up to CC.
Okay. If downstream for paying purpose, which deduction on T-day EOD report and get credit on T+1 morning before paying, so can CC deduct on T+1 BOD to avoid less collateral report and effective on G calculation? It's not worded very well, so I'm unable to.
I'm also unable to understand what exactly is
It
asked.
could be probably the same value question, I think, maybe, because they're
Looks
talking about G
like.
calculation. So it
We'll
probably is the
consider.
same validate thing for which we are
We
dealing
will
with.
consider.
We are a clearing member, self-clearing member in cash segment and trading member in FNO segment. And we have a different PCM. All our clients are registered in both CM and FO segments. Can we upstream all the funds, both cash and FO, to NSE clearing from our cash settlement account?
Yeah, you can. You can do that because you are allowed to maintain your ledger across segments. So there is no problem. You can do it.
Sure. My question is, how can we transfer client funds from NSE CM settlement account to NSE FO clearing member account?
So we have operated now season 4, under which you can ask the fund back from NCSE clearing towards paying for other segments. So under the reason code, you can ask for withdrawal and then transfer to the other settlement.
Understood. Whether designated bank account is required for URC, upstreaming and downstreaming of funds is done through the cash margin, addition withdrawal menu. Do we have a separate menu for upstreaming, downstreaming? Through this daily activity, our pro collaterals will be adjusted accordingly in exchange dashboard. If funds are lying in various banks, we had to consolidate the funds to one bank account from where the upstreaming would be done. Is this the correct procedure? Should upstreaming, downstreaming of funds be done segment-wise, or all funds can be upstreamed in NCL itself? How funds required for own accounts can be withdrawn, as the cash release request would be received only in our downstreaming account, and we will not be able to move from downstreaming account to our own account.
I think there are
Multiple
parts
questions
to this question.
Yeah.
Some of the things which I understand, I'll answer those first. Actually, no, you repeat the question. Better.
Whether designated bank account is required for URC.
Designated bank account are required for.
URC.
Actually, there is no term as URC. I think.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Upstreaming and downstreaming of funds is being done through the cash margin addition withdrawal menu.
Okay.
Do we have a separate menu for upstreaming, downstreaming? Through this daily activity, our pro collaterals will be adjusted accordingly in the exchange dashboard.
Everything has to be upstreamed to CC. If I think I understand correctly, in the next part of the question, they are also saying that all the upstream account needs to be clubbed at one place. It's their choice. If they want to do it separately from all the upstreaming accounts, they can do so. If they want to club it at one and then upstream it to the settlement account and from settlement account to the CC, it's their choice.
Understood.
And the window is
Basically,
one.
if I have 10 upstream accounts,
Yeah.
I can do 10 transfer from each settlement upstream account to settlement account, or I can put it into one upstream account and from there do it one transfer to settlement account. That's your choice. And
Understood. And it can also be done segment wise or.
Yeah,
That's their choice.
It's their choice.
So if they want, like, I think their question was that can we upstream everything to NCL? Answer is yes.
They have.
But in that case, what will happen is, because there's a question need tail here, and if you do it everything to NCL and you have also margin requirement as TCs, then your prop margin will get blocked. There's no penalty, etc. on that, but your prop margin will get blocked, so your capital adequacy to that extent might get impacted.
Understood. And the last question is how funds required for own accounts be withdrawn. So they have to just say pro and take it into their prop account, right?
And anyway, we are not saying that everything has to be upstream. If they are bringing on the need basis,
right,
pain, etc., that also they can.
Right. Okay. Can we? This is already done. If we release FDR from collateral and the bank liquidates the same later after upstreaming time, can those funds be left in the upstreaming account? And also, can it be utilized directly for the next day's pay? If we release FDR from collateral and the bank liquidates the same late, which is after the upstreaming time, can those funds be left in the upstreaming account? And also, can the funds be used directly for the next day's pay?
Yeah, so yes, that is possible because if the bank itself has given the funds after the upstream cut of time, then you obviously cannot cut upstream it. In which case, you can next day you can give it for pay.
Okay. The next question is,
But
we
the
are
entire amount should be done as pay. Whatever is left
That
again
you have to
should
go
go.
upstream. Yeah, yeah. I think we have answered the question that while you can utilize funds for paying without upstreaming, but what is the residual amount that has to be upstream back? If you have basically taken 10 crore rupees to settle an account
right.
and only 8 crore the paying,
Right.
and remain 2 crore you have to, you cannot then take it out just directly.
Understood. Okay. The next question is, we are a bank-based 3-in-1 broker following bill-to-bill settlement cycle and not withholding any of the client funds at T0. We have dependency on the exchange files. I think we have answered this. Uh, we've answered this. So they need to have their own systems
Yes,
and
yes,
processes,
right.
and if their current process is not able to satisfy the required level of compliance, they need to look at their processes and review those processes and change them, right? Okay. Whether we can release the client payout from own funds during holidays or emergency, and can it be downstream later when the clearing corporation is available?
This also
Yeah.
we,
So we will clarify this once we receive confirmation, but it's something which is under our radar. Yeah.
Pay-in obligation can be adjusted by the CC directly from the deposits of the members instead of downstreaming and moving the funds.
No, I think I answered the question.
Yeah. TOC and other dues can be moved from settlement account to due account in case of CC and own account to dues account in case of CM. Can it be? The question is, can it be? So the charges which are due, which they want to recover,
so it has to
from
go
settlement
from the
account
settlement account to the own account.
to their own account.
Yeah, under approved reason code. So you are asking the withdrawal from the CC.
Yeah.
For under approved reason code. You can settle an account and from there to account.
Right. So I think we've covered most of the questions that came in. There are some lengthy questions that some of the members have sent in. Like I said earlier, we're trying to cover all those smaller questions first. Partners, because I know we're already about 50 minutes into this second episode. There are still some questions to go. Okay.
We can try as many questions we can. Yeah.
Okay, maybe we'll do for another 5 minutes and then review. Yeah. Can we retain the funds in downstreaming account for settlement holiday, bank holiday, and RAA, quarterly, monthly payouts?
So answer is already given that answer no.
Yeah. Is there any penalty levied if the funds are left in the settlement account after upstreaming?
So it will basically come out in G shortfall.
Okay.
So what is the penalty applicable for that will
whatever is the applicable penalty will then get attracted. If the exchange paying obligation on T+1 day is 1 crore and 2 crores.
What exactly was the question?
Right, this one?
Huh.
They are saying that if I leave the money in settlement account, will there be penalty
Okay.
for that?
Settlement. Right.
There's no separate penalty, but what it will split in G calculation, whatever shortfall to that penalty will applicable.
We upstream all client funds received during the day to clearing corporation before 7 p.m. daily. On the same day, we downstream for client payout and exchange pay, which settlement will happen on T+1 day. Fund remains in the settlement account on that day. Are we violating any regulation or not? Please clarify. It's a bit unclear to me. We upstream all client funds received during the day to CC before 7 p.m.,
Okay.
which is absolutely the right thing to do.
Yeah.
On same day, we downstream for client payout and exchange pay in, which settlement will happen on T+1 day. So they are downstreaming.
No, you cannot downstream.
You can't downstream for settlement. Yeah, you can't settlement.
On the same day.
That's not allowed. So funds remain in the settlement account. That's not possible, therefore. So
Those will not be counted for, again,
So you have
credit
to
as
do-
and G
if you want to
calculation.
do your valid release on next day morning release.
clients' funds are lying in the settlement account. We've not allocated it to NCL. So can we transfer settlement account funds directly to the downstreaming account, or do we have to do through NCL only?
You have to upstream it first.
Upstream and then come back. Yeah. Treatment in case of urgent client withdrawal request. Can we process such a transfer from own account and later once a withdrawal is received, can we transfer it from downstream
We will
to own?
clarify it for separate.
This is something that we need to clarify. Okay. Treatment in case of rounded off shortage. If, for example, 100 received instead of 100.5 from clients, can we transfer funds from own to upstreaming to cover such a small deficit?
Absolutely.
Okay. Exchange payout is 3 crores, out of which 1.5 crores is used for client paying. So can I use the balance amount directly for other CC?
No, then you have to first upstream it and then ask for reason code paying to other CC.
Okay. For funds done in upstream, can we downstream own funds, leaving clients' funds in upstream? How to bifurcate from audit point of view?
I don't think I got the question.
So for funds done in upstream, as in he's moved the funds, upstreamed it to the clearing corporation, can we downstream own funds, leaving client funds in upstream? I don't understand this.
What reason? Own fund, he can always
Yeah,
take
there's no
back.
restriction on own funds.
How to bifurcate from audit point of view? Anyway, the reason code will help bifurcate,
Yes.
right?
No, but if we put already.
See, all the client funds which are available with the CCCM, that amount should be equal to the client payables. Other than that, he can always take back funds.
Fair enough. We have three different settlement bank accounts currently being used for settlement of funds for each segment. Out of these 3 accounts, which settlement account is to be used for upstreaming or downstreaming of one net amount when upstreaming or downstreaming requirement is common across segments? And we also maintain a common ledger balance across the 3 segments.
You can use whichever segment you want. Your choice. You can even split across segments based on your usage
Right.
or whatever. Yeah.
Only thing is a withdrawal should be equal to the charges which they have paid on behalf of the client, whether it's a brokerage or transaction charge or SEBI turnover fees or STD, etc.
How can a member release excess client funds? This scenario is not mentioned in the circular.
Excess?
Excess of client funds. So if the client has sent more money and which has been upstream, you can just withdraw it and give it back to the client, right?
Yes.
And
And his ledger has to be
Payout to
debited.
client.
Payout to client. That's it.
And equivalent amount in the ledger has to be debited so that client payable also get reduced.
Perfect. Okay, so there's a lengthy question we've received from one member, which is with respect to custodian settled client trades, which are converted to DBP. I think we already covered this.
Yeah.
Where we are awaiting clarity. So we'd request you to wait for the operational guidelines and this hopefully will get clarified. So this topic we will skip for the time being. So just to go back and see which questions are now left. There are some on these 2 pages and this one here. Yeah, we've covered all the others. So there are 3 questions left. And let's see how we can deal with this one. In case of situations where the client's utilization shoots up due to trades done during the last half an hour of market close, and we make a margin call, if client funds are cited in client money after the upstreaming deadline, what needs to be done? This is answered by the debit freeze clarification. Can FNO segment brokerage received from execution only clients, not clearing through the executing broker, be directly taken into the firm's corporate own account? Please note this is execution commission and not margins. I don't think it can be taken directly into the own account, right? It will have to be upstream and then
Something
taken
coming
back.
from client has to.
Exactly. In case of physical FDR creation, FDRs are created mostly the next day, next working day. How will this scenario be handled and how will the reporting of funds happen once this regulation goes live?
So actually, we don't fully agree with that. FDRs do get created on the same day.
Same day.
Yeah. However, if in certain scenario it's not happening on the same day, in that case, you have to separately try to exchange for the G calculation shortfall that this is FDR which was in transit or something of that sort.
So we currently also take confirmation from brokers whenever we find an EG shortfall because of this reason. And if it is in transit, which is FDs to be created, we consider it and close them.
Yeah. So that's the exactly next question. How will the FDRs in transit be handled by the
So
exchange?
same way.
So that's the
Same
thing.
way.
If the money received from client comes in very late, close to the upstreaming deadline, then the CM will need to keep ABC with exchange to manage margins. Can this ABC be released the next day, move to downstream, and then move to upstreaming account for FDR placement?
Yeah, so I think the question is that, okay, first is that if the money comes at the near before the cutoff time for the CM, for the broker, whichever it is, in that case, you have to upstream it. If it come after, then you don't have to upstream it. Obviously, they will apply. The second question, part of the question is that, can I ask for withdrawal from the CC to reconvert it into an FDR? Answer is yes. We are given reason code for that also, which is change of form. So it's possible that you might upstream it as cash later on when the window opens for creating FD or MFOS. You want to withdraw it and give it back in another form, which is perfectly fine.
Understood. Can we take monthly brokerage receipt from only execution clients received in upstream account, then exchange, move to exchange, then place ABC, not allocated, then release from exchange, take it in downstream and move to our home corporate account? That's fine.
Yes.
For FDR interest which gets credited in client account on maturity, how will the treatment be done? Will this need to be upstream? Absolutely yes. This we have answered earlier. Physical settlement obligation is separately collected from client on expiry +1. Can this process be retained on expiry +1 post this regulation going live? Can funds be transferred to exchange settlement account directly from the that will not be possible, right?
No, it's possible. If you're taking the funds from the client on +1 day, you can directly transfer to settlement account without upstreaming it to CC. That's
Okay.
perfectly okay.
Okay. If MTM payout is received in exchange settlement, is say 10 crores, and client asks for partial withdrawal, for example, say 9 crores. Can this 9 crore be given directly to the
Yes.
client from settlement
And remaining
account to
1 crore
downstream
to upstream it. Remaining 1 crore will upstream it.
without upstreaming intraday?
Yeah, that's fine. So what has happened is the CC has given 10 crore payout to the member.
Right.
Out of that 9 crore, client has asked for withdrawal. So 9 crore you will directly withdraw from settlement account to a downstream account to client. Remaining 1 crore, you will upstream it back.
Understood. Is there any restriction for fund movements between upstreaming and downstreaming accounts?
From downstream, you can move to upstream. From upstream, you cannot move to downstream.
This we clarified in the previous FAQ as well.
Perfect. FDR creation shall continue to be done from client money accounts going forward to be named as upstreaming account. Liquidation proceeds of these lien marked FDR to NSE clearing will be credited to upstreaming bank account. Can this principal amount be moved to downstreaming from upstreaming?
No. As we mentioned, you have to then upstream it back to CC and then ask for withdrawal.
Understood. Is it required to record the reason for moving funds out of settlement account? If yes, there are.
No, not from settlement account. You need to have reason only when you're asking for withdrawal from CC.
Okay. What if I have to create FD from the client payout amount for further lien marking to CC? Can I move the funds from settlement to upstream, or the funds need to move from settlement downstream and then to upstream for further FD creation?
I don't have to record. Can you repeat again?
What if I have to create an FD from the client payout amount for further lien marking to CC? Can I move the funds from settlement to upstream account directly?
No.
That's not possible. So it'll have to come to downstream and then, yeah. Can we retain funds in the settlement account? Can we keep funds unallocated at the end of the day with CC?
No.
We cannot, right? Circular mentions funds should go only to the client from downstreaming account. However, can payments be made to third party SP stockbrokers on behalf of such clients on their instruction? Especially, no, it's not possible. Will this change any aspect of client segregation or margin collection reporting or other exchange reporting? Currently, for client collateral segregation, we report in FDR created from client money, but in transition to CC from bank or to bank from CC under the column for cash retained with member. Will this continue for such amounts in the form FDR in transit? This is a very operational.
Yeah.
Question.
No, I think I understand the point. Currently, there is no nothing which restricts a member to keep retain funds. Now, in this scenario, what you're saying is because it's in transit, so it is not with CC. Because if they write it is with CC, that will be a mismatch. So, can you write it is with the? I think yeah, I think that's fine. You continue to report as you are doing today. You will report it as retained with TM. That's fine.
GSEC coupons credited in settlement account will be considered as client collateral or not. Accordingly, is it compulsorily required to be withdrawn and moved to downstreaming for further transfer to client accounts, or can it be allocated or left in fungible pool at CC? Cannot be left in the fund. It will have to be brought down to the downstreaming account and then passed on to the client, right?
Yeah.
Penal actions if further funds remain in any of the upstreaming or downstreaming account. Client may inadvertently transfer later than the prescribed timeline, or if the bank. This I think we've already discussed and clarified earlier. CMs have given authorizations in favor of CC to request banks to share the CM's account statement. Still, okay. Still, this new reconciliation report will be required. If yes, what will be the format? Modification.
I think we discussed that there is no new reconciliation report is required. Whatever reconciliations you are currently required to keep at your end under existing semi-regular circulars, that will continue. Nothing new is coming for this.
The next question is it necessary to have different upstreaming and downstreaming accounts for each segment?
No. Okay. You can have across segment across even exchanges.
Yes.
Common
Yeah.
upstream downstream accounts.
Does amount collected from client for early pay follow the same route as collateral collected for margin purpose?
Yes.
Is there any process or timeline change for SIM portal API solution, if any?
So there is no change in any of the CC operation.
Okay, so that brings us to the last question. Apologies for the slight delay or the lengthier open house webinar this time. We have two clients. Both the clients are bill to bill settled. Margins are collected through pledge repledge mechanism in the form of liquid fund units directly from client's demat account. If there is a debit of client, say 10 lakhs, which includes 9 lakhs towards paying and 1 lakh towards brokerage. In the morning, our settlement banker transfers 9 lakhs from our own account to settlement account as per the standing instructions and confirms the pay with the exchange. During the day, say at 12 p.m., our client gives us 10 lakhs in our client bank account, which we transfer to the settlement account. And since in the morning our own funds were used, we transfer the amount back from settlement account to own account. You can't transfer from settlement account to own account. It has to be upstreamed and then brought back.
And
As
then
a
two different reason codes will put. One
Yeah.
is for prop and one for brokerage.
Right. So that I think finishes all our questions. Let me just take a couple of minutes to go through some of the names of clients who are new this time. So there is Abhishek Jain from Nirman, Sailesh Singhal, Javeri, Manoj Shah, Sher Khan, Sandeep Khandelwal, Deen Dayal Bitani, Securities, Sandeep from Nuvama, Yusuf Saunasat from NJ India, Urvish Butwala from NJ India, Samir Parker from Ambit Capital, Sandeep Wage from Khosla Tradewise Private Limited, Digal Shah from Axis Securities, Jayarasan KR from Integrated Enterprises India, Jay Toshniwal from Toshniwal Equity, Rajiv Bhatia from Dhani Stocks, Dheeraj Bhatia from Elite Wealth, Sumit Roy from Focus Shares and Securities, Kirit Mistry from ST Advisors, Shailesh Kumar Patel from QI Brokerage, Swarup Datta from Karuna Financial, Nupur Garg from Quest Securities, Yatin Kamat from IDBI Capital Markets, Sanjay from Mumbai, Bhavin Sanghvi from BNP Securities, BNP Paribas Securities India, Vivek Raj Singh from Goldman Sachs India, KK Daga from Millennium Stock Broking, Ramesh Chaudhary from Jyoti Portfolio, Virendra Arora from Master Capital Services, Rakesh Kothari from Genuine Stockbroker Ahmedabad, Milan Ganatra from SKSC Securities Rajkot, Hina Desai from James Financial Mumbai, Hina Desai, then Nikhil Parekh from Monarch Network Capital Ahmedabad, Ashish Javeri from Nirpan Securities Mumbai, then there is Ravindra Pawar from Cross Seas Capital Services, Mumbai, Nilesh Parab from Mehta Equities, Mumbai, Gautam Datta from Drishti Shares, New Delhi, Sunny Agarwal from Jalan and Company, Kolkata, Omkar from PhonePe Wealth, Bangalore, Nilesh Sangani from Comtech BizSoft, Malar Mehta from Prudent Corporate, Ahmedabad, Sanjay Shah from SVS Securities, Mumbai, Arya Fintrade, uh, from Ahmedabad, Forum Kotari from Mumbai, Rohit Jha from Kotak Securities, Mumbai, Anurag Chaudhary from Interactive Brokers, Mumbai, Hari Babu from PSV Securities, Chennai, Manmohan Kedia from Transcan Securities, Kolkata, Vimal Shah from Patni Securities, Mumbai, Srijay Agarwal from Grow Bangalore, Vinod Singh from Kalpataru Multiplier, Gopal Lakshman Yadav from Asta Credit and Securities, Bhopal, Bertin George from Muthoot Securities, Kochi Sugantari from Chennai, Jitendra Jain from Asta Credit, Bhopal, Vaibhav Mishra from Mudra Home Securities, Bhopal, Nilima Bodani from Citigroup Global Markets, Mumbai, Shubhangi Avinash Kamble from LFC Securities, LFC Mumbai, Preeti from Arihant Capital, Indore, Dimple Soni from Swastika Investmart, Indore, Parag Shah from Ahmedabad, Vikas Parashat from Indra Securities, Indore, Sarita Kumari from Canara Bank, Mumbai, Securities Mumbai, Ulaganathan from Zebu Share, Chennai, Vikas Bajaj from CNB, Finviz, New Delhi, Pramod Doke from UBS, Mumbai, Lokesh and Patil from Alpha Grep, Bengaluru, Navia Capital Markets, Chennai, Sailesh Singhal, Javeri Securities, Vadodara, Joseph Sebastian from Modern Shares and Stockbrokers, Mumbai, Raghav from Alpha Grep Securities, Bangalore, Chandan Jha from Divya Capital, New Delhi, Malar Mehta from Prudent Capital, Ahmedabad. So thank you once again to each and every one of you for sending in all these questions. And we really hope that this session was useful for bringing in the required level of clarity around this important circular. I want to thank my colleagues Piyush and Renu for patiently listening out each and every question and giving their views. Like we promised, we will get back with required clarity on a few topics that we have noted down. We are also awaiting regulatory guidance on those questions. So with that, I want to say a big thank you once again for joining us on the episode number 2 of Upstreaming of Client Funds. Thank you and have a good evening.